Hello everyone and welcome back to my walkthrough of Dark Souls 3. Last time we defeated Vord of the Boreal Valley, and in this episode we are going to go to the next area. So, we hold up the banner just as we were told, and here comes our ride to the other side. And so we have arrived at Undead settlement. And the first thing we get is a bonfire, where we can rest after battling a Vord. Right, now before I go down here, on this side there is a large soul of a deserted corpse that we can pick up. And alright, now let's go down these stairs. So, when we approach this gate, it opens and it lets these dogs out. So let's deal with them. So once again, block the attack. That way the dog cannot do much and retaliate. Right, the gate is now closed, but before we open it, there's a little bit more over here. So behind these fallen carts, there are two more dogs, which are busy munching on something. So let me grab my sword in both hands. Let's hold down RT, and there goes a charged attack. Alright, we get two alluring skulls, and over here we can also find a couple more homeward bones.
Please, grant me death. Undo my shackles.
Alright, so this NPC right here is the first step of a rather complex quest line, which also contradicts a different quest line that I intend to finish, so I am going to grant his request. Come on, let's go to the edge. I can show you the world. No. Go to the edge. Go to... No. Alright. So, now that this guy is out of the way, it prevents one quest line, but like I mentioned, it contradicts a different quest line, so I might do a different episode on how to finish the quest line with this guy. But for now, let's go through the gate. Let's now close it behind us. And let's take this guy out. Right, so here we get a bonfire, which technically I could rest at it, but since I didn't take any damage and my weapon still has decent durability, I am going to just keep exploring the area. Right, so over here we got two more of these guys. Let's get rid of them. Also in here we can find a hanging item, which is a small leather shield. And down here there is a couple charcoal pine bundles, and this guy who tried to ambush us. So let's take him out. And now over here there's another hanging item, which we can just cut down and let it drop. And there is another enemy that we can take out. So let me do that with a quick rolling attack and a strong attack, and we get a repair powder. 2 of them, in fact. Right, so now moving on down here, down these stairs, we get another little ambush, which there are going to be quite a few in this area. Let's take out all of these guys. And this guy was so impressed that he even dropped his weapon that he had in his pocket or behind his belt. Anyway, we get 2 more charcoal pine bundles. And in here we have quite a lot of enemies. And also the item that was hanging there is Loretta's Bone, which is a quest line for Grey Rat. Now I can use the barrels to my advantage, but I need my binoculars to make sure I am facing them correctly. So let's use the binoculars. The barrels are in the vertical middle of the screen, and let's chuck a fireball. There we go. That's one group of enemies down. Now the other one is over there. So let me look up a little bit to lob the bomb, and there we go. That's some enemies out of the way. Now the other ones we need to take out by hand. This guy dropped his trousers. And this chubby enemy we need to also take out. So let's get behind her and perform a backstab. This guy was trying to get me, but since I was in the middle of a backstab animation, I couldn't be damaged. Right, and once again, let's get behind her, execute a backstab, and let's finish her off. Alright, so one more enemy to deal with over here. Let's do that. And this guy dropped a firebomb, so that's nice. This guy also dropped a firebomb. That's cool. And over here we have a Soul of an Unknown Traveler. Aside from that, there's also an item over here. A couple more enemies to take care of. An item over here. And an item hanging up there. So let's open our equipment and let's grab the longbow that we picked up in the previous episode. And like I mentioned, hold down Y to grab it in both hands, then LB to go into this screen, and either RB or RT to shoot, depending which of the 2 kinds of arrows you want to shoot. And the item was 9 cookery. Now let's go forward over here into the buildings. So here we have another enemy to take care of. So let's do that. And over here there are some more of these guys, which I'm going to show what they do in a little bit. For now, let's take care of this guy as well. Alright, and let's go inside this building. So, over here there is another hanging item, We can try to bring it down. There we go. There's also this item over here, and there is an enemy next to it. So let me perform a charged attack to take out the enemy. And the item down here is a large soul of a deserted corpse. Now down here we can find a door that we need to open from the other side. And to get there, there's a hole in the floor over here. We can drop, and in here we get an Estes soup, which is delicious. And we also get a Warrior of Sunlight. Now this is a covenant, and it's used for cooperative play. It rewards people for helping other people defeat bosses. Right. Now, these guys dropped through this hole to surprise us, but they were a bit too early, so it didn't exactly work. Right, now let's take out this guy. Let's take out these guys as well with charged attacks. Right, and now over here we have some more enemies and another chubby over there. But before I go there, to the right, there is this little side area where you can find another soul of an unknown traveler. Right, so now let's go in here. Let's take out these enemies. This guy is being cheeky. And this chubby is going to just keep casting spells until we get to her and deal with her. So let's do that. To get to her, there are some stairs over here. And a ladder. And that's how we can fight Chubby, who just dropped. Anyway, there was an item next to her, right here, so let me pick it up. And since she's down there and I'm up here, let me execute a plunging attack. I'm trying to get the backstab, but it's not working, so let's just finish the job like this. Right, before I move on, in this room, well, this guy should have just walked out, but I guess he got stuck on the wall for some reason. Anyway, in this room we find a whip, which is a whip type of weapon, the basic one. There's also this side path over here where we can find yet another Titanite shard. And now obviously the game wants us to go over here, but I'm going to go here instead, as there are quite a few things you can notice. So firstly, there's a bonfire. Secondly, there is another crystal lizard who will try to run away from us and disappear. Thirdly, there's an item that we need to jump to get to. And I'm going to start with the last one on the list, and then I'm going to move on to the second one of the list. The item was 2 rusted coins, and let's get the crystal lizard, and we get a sharp gem as a reward. Now this is kind of a problem, as I not only was invaded but also grabbed the attention of this guy. Now I wasn't invaded by another player. This is an NPC invasion, and it's scripted. So when you reach this spot, the NPC will invade you. And there he is. Before we dance, let me light the bonfire. And alright, now this NPC, when he has his shield in his hand, you don't want to attack him, as he will parry you and then deal a significant amount of damage. Right, it's not going well at the start. Alright, so the best way, the best window to attack this guy is when he backs up and tries to cast a pyromancy spell. And I just did what I said you should avoid doing, which is I attacked him while he had his shield in his hand. Right, so whenever you see his left hand start burning and you see him back up, that's where you want to rush him and deal as many hits as you can. Another thing, once this guy is low on health, he will get a bonus to attack and defense. Which is indicated by this sound. I thought I could get him, but it didn't work. Right, so let's once again wait for him to take out the pyromancy hand, and let's rush him and finish the job. Right, so for defeating this guy we get some souls and a vertebra shackle, and this is a covenant item, which I will mention more about a bit later on in this episode. Alright, now let's heal and let's go forward. Now this area, you might notice it has quite a lot of these spears, javelins, giant arrows, whatever, and sure enough, this is where they reign. And unfortunately we are also a target for now, but we can change that. So before I continue in this area, I am going to return to the second bonfire of this area, and I'm going to show you what to do to stop the arrows from targeting you as well. Before I do that though, since I found Loretta's bone, I want to go to Greatwood and tell him of what happened. And also, are you a bit more cheerful now, or?
What a sick joke. Asking us to seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their mouldering thrones. We're talking true legends, those who would link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. Oh, yet to give in, eh? Good. The firekeeper must be twitching with delight. But what do you really know about these Lords of Cinder? These supposed legends? Let's take Aldrich for one. A right and proper cleric. only he developed a habit of devouring men. He ate so many that he bloated like a drowned pig, then softened into sludge. So they stuck him in the Cathedral of the Deep, and they made him a Lord of Cinder, not for virtue, but for might. Such as a lord, I suppose. But here I ask, do we have a sodding chance?
Oh, I assure you we do have a chance. Right, so, Grey Rat, I found Loretta.
Oh, hello, you're back. And in one piece. Well, now it's time I do my part, huh?
I have some news for you.
Heavens, she was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised, though. Almost a relief, really. You can keep the ring as, well, a little trinket of thanks, I suppose.
Right, so now let me progress his questline, and the easiest way to do that is to reload the area.
Goodbye, and stay safe. Oh, this place is a bore. What good is thievery if you've nowhere to go?
And one of the ways to do that is to sit at the bonfire, then travel to the same bonfire, which reloads the area, and refreshes the NPCs in the shrine.
Heavens, she was already dead.
So, let me do that once again. So, travel from the Firelink shrine to the Firelink shrine.
Ah, there you are. I was thinking. You know I'm a petty thief. Well, perhaps I'll go on the prowl. Everyone's dead or hollowed away anyway, right? So I might as well fetch some weapons or treasure for you. Well, what do you say?
Go on ahead.
Thank you. You will not be disappointed. Grey Rat the Thief was once a well-known name. Until I ended up rotting in a cell.
Right. Yeah.
Goodbye. I will leave for some time. So long for now. Do stay safe, you hear? Or my efforts will have been for naught.
Right. So, let me reload this area one more time. So once again, travel from Firelink Shrine to Firelink Shrine. And Grey Rat has now gone on the prowl, and we cannot find him here until he comes back. Right, let's talk to Andre.
Well, Matt, 'tis good to see ye in good health. What needs smithing this day?
So I would like to reinforce my longsword once again, since I found some more titanite shards. And I would like to reinforce my Estus flask. Thanks.
Prithee, be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Alright, now let's go back to the Undead settlement, and this time I will take a different path. So, start is the same. We go this way, take out these two guys, and now instead of getting jumped, we will be the ones who get the jump on these guys. So we can destroy these boxes, go up here, and this is how we can surprise the first guy. Now to deal with the other three, we can roll off onto this platform and then plunge attack this guy. After that we approach this guy, who has no peripheral vision, and we can take him out. And that leaves the last guy, whom we can take out before he gets the chance to do anything. Now I'm not going to take out all of these enemies once again. I'm just instead going to turn right over here and take out these guys, but instead of going in here, I am going to go to the right past these boxes, and there are a few more of these little guys to deal with. This time they are more coordinated. They have guys who are shooting stuff, they have guys who are ambushing, even one who jumped off the edge for some reason. Right, let me heal a little bit, and now let's take out these guys. I said take you out. Right, now let's deal with this guy right here. Okay, and there's another one over there, so let me go deal with him as well. There we go. So now that this area is a little bit safer, let's grab the items that are here. 6 fire bombs in here on that roof. Now over here we find a plank shield, and this guy who is actually not hostile, this is an NPC.
Another Nana disappeared. So Grunton carries a cage. He ever has his cage. And Nana's never coming back. So come into the cage and become Nana's shade.
Anyway, there's an item over here, and it's a fading soul. Now, basically, the purpose of a fading soul is to make the player go, ooh, shiny, then run in to pick up the shiny, and be overwhelmed by an ambush. Anyway, up here we can also find 2 homeward bones, and down here we can find another one of these guys, but this one is actually not hostile if we haven't yet defeated the boss of the area. If we approach him, approach his cage to be exact, we can examine it to trigger this cutscene. And when we do that, we then get transported to a different area in this location. How does that happen? I am not sure. But anyway, this is where we arrive, and we are not alone. So there's an NPC here, there's an item here, so let's pick up the item and let's talk to this guy.
Well, what's up? This pit is for hollows, not for the likes of you sane folk. Or perhaps you are a hollow, posing as otherwise?
Nuh-uh.
No, of course you're not. That's what you mad fools always say. But we'll all be mad soon enough. And should you be undead, well, all the more so.
So this guy, by the way, is the same one that invaded us earlier, and now we are, I guess, guests in his so-called home.
Beware, the shackles of the gods are fragile. You might need this. Etch it on your heart if you feel your sanity slipping. Come here to pile up your victims, for that will form your anchor. You'll see when you go mad. They'll be your family.
So we got another covenant. This time it's one for PvP, so invading other people. And we can approach this altar and offer vertebra shackles, which we can get by defeating other players while we are part of this covenant.
You'll go mad one day, but not today. Take my advice. Use this bone and leave this place. This pit is for hollows, and for the occasional madman fond of piling up victims. You've better things to do, I'd hope.
Yes, I do have better things to do. See you later. Right, anyway, that's how you can get the Mound Maker's Covenant. Alright, there we go. So now let's repeat the steps from the last time we were here. So take out these guys, destroy the boxes, take out this guy, drop here, roll here, plunge attack this guy, defeat this guy, and then defeat this guy. Alright, there we go. Now let's cross the bridge once again, but this time let's not take the side path, let's go into the building instead. Right, so here we find another item and two more enemies that were just waiting for us. Let's deal with them. Alright, and moving on, we find another one of these little guys, and this time instead of a little axe, this guy was wielding a big sword. Now over here to the right there is a caduceus round shield, and once again we are being shot at by this cheeky little bugger. Now also the one who was shooting those giant arrows is up there. We are going to go to him and talk to him. Alright, this guy is no longer shooting at us, so it's safe to go. And now, as you might notice, there are many barrels over here. And these guys up there will be throwing fire bombs. So going into this area is not safe. But we can instead drop down here. We can plunge attack this guy and then deal with this guy. We then get a Titanite shard and we can run over here to find a bonfire. There we go. So yet another checkpoint for this area. And when we go up here, this is how we can get to the guys who are throwing fire bombs. And after we take them out, this area becomes a bit safer. So let's do that. I got a fire gem from this guy, alright. And over here is also where we find another NPC.
Aha, unkindled, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to my abode. I am Cornix, an old pyromancer. A crow in his cage, as you see now. But here we are, an encounter for the ages. I hear the unkindled make for fine vessels. Care to learn some pyromancies from this old man?
Sure.
Most wise. A chance encounter should not be squandered. To reiterate, I am Cornix of the Great Swamp. The pleasure is mine.
Alright, another NPC we can talk to at the shrine. Next to him we find a hand axe, and over there is another item that is hanging out of reach, so let's once again use the bow and bring it down. Right, now let's go pick it up, and that item is a partisan. Right, now since I'm over here I can get the plunge attack on this guy. Alright, nicely done. Now that all of the enemies in this area are cleared, we can grab the items over here. One of them is a soul of an unknown traveler, and the other one is a fire clutch ring. Now, the way clutch rings work in this game, they increase your elemental damage, but they cause you to take more damage as a counterbalance. So if you're using pyromancies and you deal a lot of fire damage, this ring is for you. If you don't, there's no reason for you to wear it. Right, before we continue on, over here we find another item and another one of these little guys who was trying to be cheeky. Alright, and now moving on, we find another one of the chubbies to deal with. The third one of the area. So let's get behind her. A backstab, a charge attack, and then finish the job with light attacks. Alright, now over here there are some of these guys to deal with as well. A dog. And two more of these guys standing up here. Now, over here we find a door, which we cannot open from this side, and there are also two messages. One says that a great curse-ridden tree is ahead, and the other says that a transposing kiln lies within the belly. Alright, but since we cannot open the door, we will have to come back to this place a different way. Now, this dog was guarding an ember. So, moving on, if we go over here we can find another dog to take care of. There we go. And on this bridge there is an ember. And there are also some enemies to take care of. So let me grab their attention one by one. That way it's easier to deal with them. Alright, I believe I only need 2 more hits to defeat this guy. So let me do that before the other guy catches up to us. Alright, let's clear him out, and I got yet another Titanite shard. I'm getting quite a few of those. Right, anyway, after we cross this bridge, there's another one of these guys with his funny little garden pot. Okay, it's actually a big garden pot. Anyway, it's best to approach him from behind, as that's where he does not have the garden pot. And once again, let's take him out, and we got some rubbish from this guy. Cool. Right, so over here we find a large soul of a deserted corpse, and another dog to deal with. So let's do that. And yet another dog. And 3 alluring skulls. So that's pretty much it for this part of the area. Let's go over here, which is where we can finally get to that giant archer. But first there's an NPC sitting over here, so let's talk to him.
Another one of those unkindled, are you?
Mm-hmm.
All you faceless undead, behaving as if you deserve respect. No matter. Heed my words.
Mm-hmm.
If you've any sense, you'll go find a coffin to huddle up inside. You here, in this land of hollows, you're like a frail maiden on the front lines. If, like the others, you're fool enough to play the champion, then go on ahead. Traipse right past the abandoned church. You'll face death. And it won't be pretty. Enough death to leave you broken. Time after time. Yeah.
Right, let's check out what we have over here. Another door that we cannot open from this side, and there is another NPC inside. Do you know anything about that?
You like poking around in cells, do you? How very genteel.
Anything else?
Taking an interest in her, have you? Well, she's a lost cause. Couldn't even become a firekeeper. After I brought her all this way and got her all ready. She's beyond repair, I tell you.
Oh, we will see about that. Right, but before we progress over here, there's an item to be shot down. So let me go over here. Let me grab the bow, and the item is over there. So let's take aim, and there we go. And this item is a flame stone plate ring. And the way stone plate rings work in this game is they increase your absorption of elemental damage. So flame is for fire damage, magic is for magic damage, and so on. And there goes our ride. Hi. Hi.
Oh. Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegward of Katarina. To be honest, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Have you ever walked near a white birch only to be struck by a great arrow? Well, if I'm not mistaken, they come from this tower. Whoever it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them. But I have to find a way up. And that's just the trouble. This lift only goes down, you see, and... well, that doesn't get me anywhere.
Well, there was another lift. So let me send this one down, and I shall now go up and talk to the giant. Right, so up here, right? Hi, hello.
Who are you?
I'm a friend.
I help any time.
Right, so we're cool now. Nice. Okay, so I can continue on with the journey, but before I do that, there is an item over here, and it's a soul of a nameless soldier. Alright, so I heard this knight, Siegward, once again. Alright, and I heard him somewhere. Hello, what are you doing?
Ah, oh, don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried. But thanks to you, an epiphany has struck me square in the head. I've unraveled the riddle of this inscrutable lift.
Well, congratulations, but I think we have a different problem now.
On some days I begin to doubt myself. I went up the tower, so I thought, then somehow ended up here. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Anyhow, do you see that? That humongous beast? I'm no coward and I've a steady hand, but that thing makes my skin crawl. How now? Think twice before you go down that road. Ah!
I did not mean to do that. Anyway, I am going down that road. Let's dance. Uh-oh.
Well, it's too late now.
Ow.
Siegward of the Knights of Katarina, right by your side.
Ow again. And uh-oh. This guy's angry now. Angry, but nearly finished and now taken down. Alright. We got him, Siegward. And I got a fire gem.
That was quite a performance. But you mustn't get in over your head.
Hmm?
We unkindled must put our duties first. But, for the moment, we've a toast to make.
Cool.
Your valor, my sword, and our victory together. Long may the sun shine.
Yes, long may it shine.
Well, I'm going to have myself a little nap. The only thing to do, really, after a nice toast.
Well, you fall asleep rather fast. Right, you keep napping and I will explore this area a little bit. There is an item here that I can pick up, which is a large club. Aside from that, there are also some items hanging over here. We can get to them. There we go. And those items are a set of northern armor and a pale tongue, which is another type of covenant item. Right, moving on. Here we find some red bug pellets. And those are consumable items and they temporarily increase fire defense. Now over here there are these enemies once again, so let's deal with them first. Alright, and we find 2 more alluring skulls. Now in here we find another dog, so let's deal with him. Now there's also another dog and another one of these guys, so let's take him out. There we go. Now I should probably mention how alluring skulls work. You can throw them and the area where they hit, they release a spell, a smell or an effect of some kind, and that effect attracts some lesser enemies. Not all, but quite a lot of lesser enemy types. Right, so after dealing with them we get some human pine resin, which similarly to how gold pine resin applies lightning, human pine resin applies dark damage to the weapon. Hello, chubbies. Well, this is not really a dance that I wanted. But I guess it's a dance that we're having. Alright. It's me and you now. It's just us. What's the matter? Are you shy? No, you just needed some time to warm up, huh? I do not want your flaming hugs. Get out of here. Poke. Right, so I noticed that this chubby dropped something. Her trousers. Alright, cool, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Up here we can find Flynn's ring. Now the way this ring works, the lower your equip load is, the more of a damage boost you get. So it's best if you're literally running around naked with a weak weapon. I'm not going to be using this ring, as I do not intend to do that here. We also find some homeward bones, and down there, down this tower, there's a box with an item, and about halfway there there are some planks. So let's run and fall onto those planks to not take too much fall damage. Right, let's heal up, and here in this box we find a Chloranthe ring, and there's also a set of mirror armor. Now, Chloranthe ring, the way it works is it increases the speed at which you recover stamina, so it's universally good, and I'm going to put it on because of that. And after we exit this tower, this is where we arrive. The door, and where there was another chubby and these guys. Now, there's another way we can go from here, and that is in here, in these sewers, and there's another dog who got some zoomies. Right, let's put it down, and now in here is where you get to sewers, and in sewers there are naturally rats. So let's take them out, and in here we can also find Ceestus, or Caestus. It's a fist weapon, and in here we find some more rats, including a big one. So let's take out all of them, and after defeating the big rat we get a blood bite ring. Now the way this ring works is it increases your resistance to bleed status effect. Right. We also get to this door, which opens from this side, and this is how we can get to the other bonfire. Alright, so now that we made peace with the giant, we can safely explore this area, as we will no longer be targeted by him. I just need to deal with this enemy first, so that he doesn't chase us. Now, let's go back here, and this time the giant arrows will not be heading for us, only for the enemies. Alright, cool. So, the enemies in here are under fire, as you can see. Right, so here we have some items: a fading soul, an ember, a young white branch, another young white branch, a third young white branch, a large soul of a deserted corpse, and another item that we need to jump to get to. And this one is an undead bone shard. Alright, I will mention what it does in a moment, but first there's a message here that says arrows of a giant rain down beside the white birch. Now basically what it's hinting at is that if there's a white birch, which looks like this, that is a place where the giant from that tower is going to shoot his arrows. Right, we also find a reinforced club, and before we go into the building, let's explore the area over here. So here there is an item, and another one of these cheeky buggers who tried to get a jump on us. But I was ready and I blocked it. And next to this tree we also find mortician's ashes, and ashes of any kind that you find in this game, you can bring them to the merchant in the shrine, which then unlocks new wares. Right, so let's deal with this guy, and over here is another item that we can only get by jumping, so let's do that. And this one is a great scythe. Alright, so now after we go this way, this is where we arrive at the other side of the door. Right, so let's open it. And this is the boss of the area. And before I challenge it, I am going to unequip the binoculars, and I shall swap the fire bombs for some charcoal pine resin, which will apply fire damage to my weapon. Right, let's take out these guys first before dancing with the boss. And the boss has awoken. Now, this boss, the only way to hurt it is to, however strange it may sound, is to target its balls, as if you target the bark, you don't deal any damage. You have to target the places where there are these sacks, I guess. And this boss, since it's a tree, as you might imagine, is weak to fire. So let me apply some fire weapons and fire damage to my resin, and let's go for the balls. Here we go. So that's one place where we can take out the balls. The leg is another. And after we take out the main boss, the boss enters a second phase. It regrows those balls, and it grows another limb, another arm, which can also be targeted as it's soft. And now about targeting its sacks. Whenever we destroy the sacks, we need to target. We need to find new ones to target instead. So there is one on this side of the leg. There is one behind this guy. There is one on this arm, this hand rather, and we can also target the hand directly, or we can keep hitting the sacks to finish off the boss. And sure enough, after defeating the boss we get a transposing kiln, and this is also the area where we were earlier. This NPC has been crushed and is now gone. Anyway, let's return to the shrine, as there are a few things to catch up on. So, first things first, the transposing kiln we received, we can give it to Ludleth, as he knows what to do with it,
Fret not,
how to
fret not.
utilize its power.
My feet are here firmly planted, for I am a lord, and this is my throne.
I got this. Here, it's for you.
Oh, belike it is a transposing kiln in thy possession. Seen better days, but methinks it shall suffice. Now, bring to me a twisted soul. Transposition is the art of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. In transposing a twisted soul, its true power transferreth to thee. Thy purpose is to seek lords and slay them. What's to fear in a little transposition now?
Alright, so this is how we can transpose the souls of the bosses to get weapons from them. And in doing so, the boss soul is consumed, and you need to get another copy if you want the other weapon as well. I will come back to this guy later on when we get more boss souls.
Treat the firekeeper not with discourtesy. She is much like thee. Prisoners both, kept to link the fire.
Alright, so now moving on. Let's talk to this guy once again.
At the foot of Lothric Castle, an old path still runs below the tower in the Undead settlement. It was used to transport sacrifices to the Cathedral of the Deep. You should see where it leads, if you've the stones for it.
Oh, I do, and that is where I intend to go next.
You haven't given up yet. Then you're a brasher less than I thought. You can make better use of this. I don't need it. Not now I've flown the coop.
Okay. Now, Greyrat has come back from his pillaging expedition, so let's see what he has.
Oh, hello. You've come at a good time. It took some prowling, but I finally made a score. Go on, have a gander.
So, Greyrat now has more consumables, more weapons, more shields, more armor, and more ammunition, and he also has a priest's chime, which I am going to buy. Now, this chime requires faith, so I need to level it up to 10 to be able to use it.
Goodbye, and stay safe. Oh, this place is a bore. What good is thievery if you've nowhere to go?
Right, now let's talk to Cornix, the pyromancer we recruited. He has a little corner over here.
Ah, there you are, unkindled one. I wish to express my gratitude for trusting a lowly pyromancer and allowing me to gaze upon this majestic flame. As promised, I will impart pyromancies to you. But first, you'll need a flame of your own. Careful you don't burn yourself with it.
So this is where we can learn pyromancies, which require both intelligence and faith. We can also purchase the pyromancer set from this guy, and if we were to use pyromancies, and this is also where we can reinforce our flame, which I'm not going to do.
Do not be gone for long. What is a teacher without a pupil?
Right, now let's talk to Andre.
Well, Matt, 'tis good to see ye in good health. What needs smithing this day?
I would like to infuse my longsword with a fire gem that I got from defeating the demon. Now, what this does is it removes all of the scaling, so you don't get any extra damage from strength, dexterity or anything else, but it also adds fire damage to your weapon. And also it decreases the base physical damage that your weapon deals. But fire damage is going to be useful in the near future, so I would prefer to make that infusion.
Prithee, be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Alright, now I've also something for you.
Ah, well met, Ashen One. How may I be of service?
I found this.
Gracious, passing fine ash thou'st given. Let this ash bestow nourishment. I only hope these new wares content thee.
And now she sells some other items as well as a grave key, which is the key to the door in Undead Settlement sewer. So I'm going to buy it and I am going to head there in a moment.
Ashen One, be sure to bring more souls.
But before that I am going to level up a little bit.
Welcome home, Ashen One. Speak thine heart's desire.
Level up, please.
Very well. Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Right, so I would like to increase my faith to 10. That way I can use the chime. I also want to increase my health to, let's say, this amount. Alright.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
Alright, now another thing. Since my weapon is infused with fire damage, I can no longer use any pine resins on it. So I am going to unequip this. Alright, now let's head... Before we do that, let's burn the undead bone shard, as doing that increases the health or FP we restore with Estes. Now to get to the sewer, let's warp to the Dilapidated Bridge and let's finish up this area. So this time we can get the drop attack on these guys. This rat was having the zoomies of his life. The last zoomies of his... Anyway. Now you may notice that the sword is more effective against the rats. Now over here, down this ladder, we can find a loincloth, and a statue of Velka. Now, pretty much what it does, if you ever punch an NPC one too many times because they were rude to you, and the NPC becomes hostile, you can come over here and pray at this statue to make the NPC forgive you for a cost of some souls. That's pretty much it. So in short, just don't anger any NPCs. It's not worth it. Alright, moving on. Here is a red-hilted halberd, which, as the name might tip you off, is a halberd. And we also get some spooky boys to deal with over here. So let's take them out as they form. There we go. And among all of these bones we find a soul of an unknown traveler. Now over here we have 2 more skeletons. Let's deal with them. Alright, I got a human pine resin from this guy. It's not a common drop. Right, and this is... hi, sir, you shouldn't be here. So this is below the bridge that was before. And this is also where we can find another crystal lizard. So let's catch this bugger and let's bring it down. There we go. A heavy gem. Now we also find 2 more titanite shards. And this guy with the garden pot, he finally broke it. Let's deal with him. Alright, there we go. And I got the weapon of his, a great machete. It's of great axe class, and it's actually a pretty solid weapon, but it's not a common drop. Anyway, over there we can find yet another item that needs to be shot down in order to be retrieved. And this one is a blessed red and white shield, already reinforced to +1. Right, here we also find a rat, and another rat, and another rat. Quite a bunch of rats. So let's take all of them out. There we go. This is also a place where we can find Saint's Talisman. And a ladder that we need to climb. Now, as you might imagine, we end up on the other side of this door, and we can finally talk to this NPC.
Who is there?
It's Johnny.
Is someone there? Anyone? Oh, please, whoever you are, touch me. The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures, they never stop biting. So please, hold out your hand and touch me.
For reference, this woman is blind and terrified. So let's comfort her.
Oh, yes, there you are. So close, indeed. Then I am not entirely alone just yet. Praise the merciful gods above.
So, who are you?
Oh, forgive me. I am Irina of Karim. I came to this land so that I might be a firekeeper. Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then? I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, Might I enter into your service instead?
No, it would not trouble me. Welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you, sweet champion. I shall take my vows. I, Irina of Karim, solemnly swear to serve you.
Alright. I talked to her.
You've gone and rescued her, have you? How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help.
What's funny about that?
Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I am Egon, a knight of Karim. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long.
Ooh, spooky.
What's the matter? My terms are very simple. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long.
Alright. So, now let's finish up this area by taking the lift down and going past the bottom of the abandoned church, as both Egon and Hawkwood said. So in here, in this room, we find an ember and an enemy who is quite agile. So we need to be careful and always have our finger on the roll button. Poke. Poke. You shall not defeat me. Ow. Alright, you may bonk me once, but you shall not defeat me. There we go. I got his weapon, the Irithil Straight Sword. And it's actually a pretty good weapon, so I am going to equip it as well. And I will put the Fire Longsword as my second weapon. Alright. So, now, past this door, is the next area. So, this door marks the end of this long episode. So, in the next episode we are going to take on the Road of Sacrifices. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Goodbye.